All right, it's draft day. We got the live stream going tonight, live at 6:45 p.m. Central, 7:45 p.m. Eastern. That's correct. We're going to be live streaming the whole thing. And if we hit 100,000 subs, which is a lot of people, we hit 100,000 subs, something is going to happen to me.
To you?
To me.
What's going to happen?
No, why y'all playing dumb? What do you mean? Y'all know this? Yeah.
What's going to happen?
I know nothing.
I thought you were going to do something.
I thought you were going to.
No.
I'm already getting
We talked
hit
about
with
this.
a
What's
paintball
going
gun.
on? You're getting hit with a paintball gun. What's like? Again, we've talked about pepper spraying me. There's been other things that have been said that are going to happen. I'm down for whatever. Tase.
I thought we were going to fear factor him, like put him in a room with a bunch of spiders.
No, we're not doing that.
I thought you were going skydiving.
No.
I thought you already agreed to go
I thought you were
skydiving.
going shark diving.
No. Okay, you want to talk about Flamin' Dragon? Flamin' Dragon has nothing on the Avenger All But Come if you try and put me in a room full of spiders.
Hawkeye?
No. More like Thanos.
He's going through a lot right now.
Basically, I'll turn into 11 from Stranger Things. Stuff will just start moving around the room and running into stuff. The more pissed I get, and my nose
You'll
will
turn
start
into
to
Spider-Man. You'll turn into Spider-Man.
You don't want that either. You know what? Because like I'll be Black Venom Spider-Man, like ripping limbs off and not caring about old people or kids.
Black Venom Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a thing.
No, it is a thing.
It sounds dope.
Well, there's 35 different Spider-Mans that they've made. Eventually, I'm going to be right on some level.
Well, Venom's like a completely separate thing.
Anyways, you don't have to celebrate it. What I'm saying is make sure you tune in, and turn in,
Kevin's
then
getting a
tune in
buzz cut tonight too. I forgot.
to the live stream tonight.
No.
Yeah.
You're getting buzzed?
Yeah,
No.
getting buzzed up.
I'm getting shot in the back with a paintball
Well, I
gun.
know for a second Darby Lee wouldn't let you do that, so I know that's a lie.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, well, make a poll about
That's
it.
fine.
Why'd you shave?
Good, you can make a poll about it. That's great. You can CNBC this whole thing. Jimmy Butler and the Heat knock out the top seed Milwaukee Bucks in spectacular fashion. The Grizzlies forced Game 6 by beating LeBron and the Lakers, and we're going to break down all the action for the first round of tonight's NFL Draft, and Jim Nagy from the Senior Bowl is going to join us as well. I'm Jake Crain, and welcome to the Draft Day edition. Crain and Company. The 2023 NFL Draft kicks off tonight, and while nobody truly knows exactly what's going to happen, there are a few guarantees. Now, one of those guarantees is that somebody is going to reach on a quarterback early in the draft who will end up being a bust. We see it every year like clockwork. It's like waking up. Now, whether they get fooled by a big arm or some intangible that turned out to be not so superhuman after all, it's definitely going to happen. And if it stays the course the way we've seen it, the question always becomes who, not if. Now, while there can be multiple bad quarterback selections, and there will be, one pick will rise to the top for its infamy. And to me, that team will be whoever drafts Will Levis early. Now, I want to say I have no ill will toward Will. He's never wronged me personally or done anything that I disapprove of. But I believe his game is fool's gold. He has a big arm, and that's obvious. So people say, hey, he can make all the throws. But can he? He lacks feel or touch in any pass outside of a deep ball or a laser in the intermediate passing game. And that's a trait that is hard to develop. You're typically born with touch and feel. It's not Maybelline. Now, it's like being a pitcher in Major League Baseball who can throw the ball 100 miles per hour on the fastball, but doesn't have another pitch. It's not going to work. His overall accuracy as a complete passer is lagging as well. And against defenses in the NFL, the windows are tighter than spandex on Lizzo. Now, make no mistake, somebody is going to take him early based on his laser. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope Will plays for a long time because he plays the game hard and he does it the right way. And I've got nothing but respect for him. But sometimes, man, it just is what it is. I'm going to bring in my co-host, who I hope doesn't think about spandex on Lizzo.
I was having such a good morning, and you did that.
Well, guess what? It's not hard to find. Just turn on the TV.
In the old cranium.
Because that's sexy now.
That's why I turn it off.
Yeah.
And then
how you could go from my 800-pound life to sexy in one off season is incredible to me. But that's neither here nor there. Is there somebody? What are your thoughts on Will Levis? You've made him known, but if somebody's just tuning in for the first time, what are your thoughts on old Willie?
I tend to agree with everything you've said about Will Levis, particularly when it comes to, obviously he has a big arm. Can he make all the throws? When you throw a whole shot across the field, it's very impressive.
It is.
But when you can't, complete a touch screen pass like that, is that technically being able to make all the throws? The double-digit interceptions each year is one thing that's concerning. I'm hearing people out on the fact that, hey, Will Levis didn't have a lot of weapons at Kentucky. He didn't have a great offensive line. He wasn't playing for an offensive guru like a Lincoln Riley or Ryan Day or someone like that. And I understand all that. But I think NFL teams are so worried about missing out on a Josh Allen. They're so worried about missing out on a Justin Herbert, guys who can transform your team. And we know these days to win a Super Bowl, you have to have a top quarterback. So teams are so fearful of missing out on those type of players that they're going to go up and reach. My spidey senses are starting to tingle about the Titans, man. I think the Tennessee Titans
You've been saying that.
I don't know Will Levis specifically, maybe Anthony Richardson, I just think that they're going to try and make a move here. The teams that are in the best positions to me, man, look at the Eagles, because the Eagles are already a complete team. Went to the Super Bowl last year. They locked up Jalen Hurts. They're solid on defense. They're solid at wide receiver. They have the 10th pick from New Orleans that they got from the Saints. Then they also have their pick later in the draft. I think the Seahawks are another team like that. The Seahawks drafted so well last year. And then to see what Geno Smith was able to do at the quarterback position, the Seahawks have that 5th pick. They also have their pick at 20. What are they going to do? They could do any sort of thing. So they could trade back. They could also try and take a quarterback a little bit later in the draft if you want to get someone ready for when Geno Smith ends up playing like the old Geno Smith, if that happens, rather than the guy he turned into last year. But I can't wait for tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I can't either. Blaine, when you look at Anthony Richardson,
okay,
do you think there's a chance Anthony goes before Will tonight?
Yeah, I think Anthony goes to the Colts. I think Will's going to fall a little bit in the draft in the first round. I think Will's going to go 19. I think Will's going to go to the Bucs.
Really?
I think the Buccaneers are going to grab Will Levis. I think right now he's slated to the second best odds to be the first pick. That's a plus 1,200. And I believe Will Anderson's slated for the best odds to be the second pick. Yep. So I think a lot of people gas Will Levis. I don't mind Will Levis, but I don't trust anybody who puts mayonnaise in their coffee and eats banana peels with the peel still on it.
Patrick Mahomes puts ketchup on his steak, and he goes out there and
that's more acceptable to put mayonnaise in your coffee.
I don't. Not where we're
Patrick,
from.
That's just to me. You're still a little bit of a child at heart. All right, but look, ketchup.
So how do you feel about the Bucs if the Bucs took him at 19 when they traded for Baker Mayfield?
I feel like, they're still going to be mediocre coming in the season. Baker's going to start. Will's going to sit behind him. Is Kyle Trask still at the Bucs? Which at this point, if they're not giving Kyle a chance, I don't think Kyle's their guy. But I do think if you're the Bucs, right, why make a move to try to buy up to get a quarterback? Well, if it's a quarterback you don't like, because you're going to have to give up a lot to get in that top 5. I think the Titans are going to go with Jackson Njigba from Ohio State.
You think so?
I think so.
At 11?
I don't think they need to try to reach for another quarterback. I know you don't believe in Malik Willis, at least in what we've seen from now. But if anything, run this year out, see what you can get from Derrick Henry later in the weekend. I heard that's going to be on the block, maybe before the trade deadline. We'll see. But right now, I think Will's going to go in the 20s, maybe 19 tops. I think Anthony's going to go to the Colts.
At 4?
So if you had to pick between Anthony Richardson or Will Levis, you have to take one of those two quarterbacks.
Taking Anthony.
Who are you taking?
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Anthony.
I'm with you 100%.
I don't know if it's 100%.
What's the difference between Anthony Richardson and Will Levis? Both have big arms.
Yeah.
You can say Will's a little more accurate, not a lot. Anthony's a far better runner. Mm-hmm. I think Anthony Richardson's ceiling is higher than Will Levis's.
I agree with
people like the comp from Will Levis to Josh Allen. Go watch Josh Allen's tape.
Josh Allen,
and it's not like he has dogs running around where he was at. Mm-hmm. I know he didn't play against the best competition. Go watch his pro day. All right, and I know everyone pro day is a pro day, whatever. But the throws Josh Allen were making is a lot different than the throw Will Levis.
But Will's not a small guy. Josh Allen's a monster.
Tree.
People understand how big Josh Allen is. Like, to be compared to Josh Allen, You almost have to be Cam Newton size. Do we? I don't think people really understand that. Josh Allen isn't some 6'3" dude that's out here with a big arm. Josh Allen is a monster, is a humongous human being. Watch him run. It's like a younger Ben Roethlisberger that can run. That's who Josh Allen reminds me of because he's massive. When it comes down to comparing Anthony Richardson and Will Levis, I think Anthony is a more natural thrower of the ball. Okay, I think he does have touch. I've seen times where he has been able to have that feel. The problem with Anthony is he's just raw. He's very raw. It's one thing to not know where to go with the ball. It's another thing to know where to go with the ball and not have the touch or feel or natural passing ability to be able to get it there when you're not just throwing the heater. We've seen Anthony do that a little bit. So that's why I agree with Blaine. I would take Anthony Richardson over Will Levis if I was going to take a quarterback early because his ceiling may be higher than anybody's in the NFL draft if we're going to talk just ceiling. If we're going to talk floor, Anthony Richardson's got a pretty low floor, too, if he doesn't develop and just goes in the NFL as an athlete like some people thought, Lamar Jackson would be. Lamar Jackson's actually the exception to the rule, in my opinion, because he turned out to be a lot better passer than what people thought. So it's a fascinating discussion, and we talk about this all the time. You get 8 guys sitting around in a room. You can get 8 different opinions on how it's going to go and who you need to take. And how the cream rises to the top, to me, is the most interesting part of this whole situation.
No, I agree. It's funny you talking about Will Levis to the Bucs because I see Baker Mayfield kind of as a comp for Will Levis. You know, I don't know if Baker throws it quite as hard as he does or is going to wow people at a combine, but I see that as more of a comp than Josh Allen being a comp.
I agree with that.
Baker Mayfield more of a comp for Will Levis than Josh Allen. How?
Than a Josh Allen type. Their body type is more similar to me in terms of like what I think when Jake's talking about floor and ceiling. I agree a little bit more. I think that Will Levis, I agree, has a higher floor, I think, than Anthony Richardson. You know, it could come in and just, do what Baker Mayfield did, I think. As far as Anthony Richardson's ceiling, obviously it's through the roof, but you also have to look at completion percentage in college too, which Will Levis did have a good completion percentage for the interceptions that he did throw. And again, like what are you going to be able to do on the offensive side at the quarterback position at Kentucky if you're not necessarily like a really mobile guy? Like if you bring Cam Newton into Kentucky, he was going to shine either way. Right, Will Levis. I think there is an argument to be made that he didn't have the weapons to be able to, shine in the way he needed to.
I understand that, but I also watched Wan'Dale Robinson save this man's ass down the field. It seems like every game. If you go back and watch Wan'Dale, who was balling before he got hurt, right when he's in the NFL, and Wan'Dale's about as big as this cup of coffee I got right here. He saved Will Levis a lot in Will Levis's coming out party, right? Leaves Penn State, couldn't beat out Sean Clifford, goes to Kentucky, whose offense had been archaic, basically triple option. They bring Wan'Dale Robinson in there, and Wan'Dale on the deep ball, man. That's why I'd love to see Wan'Dale Robinson play center field. I don't know if you could get a base hit. Even as big as the outfield is, the way that man can track the ball in the air. So we're going to see. It's going to be fascinating. You can watch it with us tonight. 6:45 p.m. Central. That's when the live stream is going to start. We're going to do bets. We're going to have all type of stuff. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Make sure you check that out on YouTube. We're doing a subscription push to try and hit 100,000 tonight. That'd be a pretty cool story. I don't know if I've ever had 100,000 people like anything I've done in the history of my life. So that's going to be fun. But what else is fun? Gambling on sports. And if you're in a place or an area or a situation where you can do it, I'm not talking about at the Lions facility, you need to make sure and download DraftKings Sportsbook right now and sign up with our code BOOSTER. It's BOOSTER, because new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly, win or lose. That's only at DraftKings Sportsbook with our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Fade me this month. Fade me like Michael Jordan against Craig Elo. Whether it's NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, I'm just going to live in some college baseball for the rest of this month before we start over next month. But make sure when you download DraftKings Sportsbook app, you use that promo code BOOSTER, because that's the right thing to do.
Use promo code BOOSTER. That's what you should do.
That's exactly right.
And take every prop bet in the draft tonight.
Take every single one. What do you think, Blanye?
About gambling and sports? One, think about this. All right. If you're going to use a sports book, all right, why wouldn't you use DraftKings? Well, I've been glued to the odds right now. C.J. Stroud not favored as the second pick? Like, I'm putting money. I think it's plus 300 something for C.J. Stroud being the second pick. Put money down on that.
Somebody post on Reddit or something?
Put money down on that right now. Look me in the eyes. I promise you. CJ's going too. All right. All this.
That's what I have too.
Blah, whatever you want to hear about CJ. He's not walking. He's not walking to do the ACT. All right. His ACT was balling every year he played at Ohio State. So if I'm a gambling man, which I am, go and throw a little bit of that bread down on that number 2 pick.
All right.
Here's one thing on the heights and weights of them real quick. We were talking about Josh Allen, 6'5", 240. You got Will Levis, 6'3", 229. That's what I'm seeing
got Mitch
here.
Trubisky.
And then Baker Mayfield, 6'1", 212.
Every time.
So kind of right in between, actually.
When I see Will Levis, it's like Jake Locker and Mitch Trubisky just clone themselves to have
Jake Locker's
one guy.
The thing about Baker is Baker can make all the throws. Like, Baker has touch. Baker won the Heisman.
Yeah. Baker's that 5'10.5" pitcher that throws 96.
Yeah.
Like that's Baker.
Mitch Trubisky, 6'2". Kenny Pickett, 6'3".
Kenny 6'3"?
I know.
Yeah.
It
was
surprises me every time I hear it. You think small hands, little guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Small hands, little guy. Nah, Kenny Pickett, 6'3".
Little Booster Club action?
Yes.
Let's go to Trent Kelly. What's up, Trent? $5 donation. Appreciate it, brother.
T-Kells.
What team do you think is going to go and pick up Osiris Torrance in the draft?
Man.
Y'all remember when we were talking about Florida playing in the bowl game against Oregon State? And I was like, look, Florida's got a guy that transferred in from Lafayette who hasn't given up a sack in like 400 snaps. Like his whole time at Florida, I don't think a person touched the quarterback. To me, and look, I know tackles get the bag, right? Mm-hmm. Totally understand that. Totally get it. But this guy, and when you watch his tape, it is some of the best offensive line tape that I have. And typically we see this by some huge white guy at Iowa, you know,
yeah.
like Ron Schnurfentine, like out there just.
Hey, that guy was a great player.
Yeah, he was. But like Osiris, to me, per capita, is the best offensive lineman in this draft.
He's a monster. And I'll tell you a team, Jacksonville Jaguars. This is where I've been slating this guy. I mean, you got some great defensive pieces in last year's draft. You kind of have your offensive weapons, and you have Calvin Ridley coming in from the Falcons. You have the quarterback position short up. Jacksonville, go get this guy, Osiris Torrance.
Fantastic.
What pick does Jacksonville have?
24. So I don't know if he'll last that long.
I think so. I don't know if he'll go first round.
Yeah, I like Jacksonville doing something like that. So why not take him if he's there at 20?
When's the last guard that went in the top 15 or 20 picks? That'd be a good. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think old Peter from Northwestern is going to be the guy to go first. He's going to be the first lineman off the board.
I remember watching them play in Nebraska last year in Ireland. Them talking about this guy, and then I watched him put his hands on this poor defensive lineman from Nebraska. And it was just like a son, just like telling his child, like, "Hey, stop using crayons all over the bathroom wall. I'm slowly losing my mind."
Let's go to Cole Frank with a $2 donation. Cole, what is up, brother? Who will be the top picks in each position tonight? All right, so we're starting quarterback. We all think Bryce Young.
I think Bijan at running back.
Bijan at running back. Receiver.
Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think it's going to be the first one.
Yeah, I think you're right, even though Quentin Johnson was slated to be the first one taken a couple months ago, but I think it's flipped now, and Jackson Smith and Jigba.
He's actually projected late first round.
Yeah.
I think Peter is going to be, from Northwestern, is going to be first tackle. I don't think we have to go through guard center. We're going to go through.
No, D-line, Will Anderson Jr. So I think would be the first one. DB, give me Gonzalez going to the Lions early.
Witherspoon from Illinois would be the first one.
Safety or corner?
Corner.
God, I love their secondary last year. There's a reason they're.
You got the
Ryan Walters got
Joey Porter Jr. as well, right? Penn State.
Joey would go first round. I think Joey might be one of the biggest steals of the draft.
Yeah.
I think if he falls outside,
I just trust that lineage.
I think he will, though. I think he's looking more up there like 18, 19, 20.
The length of this kid, man. Wait, he's a true 6'3", isn't he? 6'2".
Yeah, I mean, Nolan Smith at linebacker is going to be the first linebacker I think that's taken. I know the odds of him being taken in the top 10. Somebody had it up there. Ace Cone has him going top 10 at minus 120, or plus 120.
Yeah.
I like that bet.
How about first fullback, first round?
First fullback?
Fullback, that's a position still in football.
I think they call that the floating guard.
22 personnel.
The floating guard. Maybe Osiris Torrance.
Let's go to Travis Elrod. What up, T? Hashtag guys, Crain and Company. Why is arm strength overvalued in the NFL?
Well, look at again. Think about our nature as people. What do we see as the strongest? Hey, you can throw that the furthest, or you can lift the most weight, or you can jump the highest. Well, that's great. If you can hit the golf ball the furthest. Well, you're probably going to have a better chance to make the long drive contest tour than the PGA tour. Just depends on the context of what you're looking at. If it was just as easy as throw it this hard or who throws the hardest wins the Super Bowl, then hell yeah, put Will Levis up there as a top 3 pick. But there's nuance to it. But just like anything, we get enamored, right, with who can do the feat of strength the best. I just think that's a human thing.
Having a strong arm gets you out of trouble, right? Just like being fast and being really mobile gets you out of trouble in the pocket when things break down. But what's even better than getting out of trouble is staying out of trouble with your mind. And that's what Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and a lot of these great quarterbacks have done for a long time. Don't put yourself in positions to need to rip a whole shot to the field with a laser arm,
Yep. So the No Fun League Sports Channel says Will Levis will be a Panther.
You think he's going 1?
If he goes 1, everyone should be fired.
Yeah, if he goes 1, then the franchise should be shut down.
Everybody should be fired.
It should be shut down and sold. I don't know. We're selling everything to the Chinese anyway. Didn't they just buy IMG Academy or something?
Yeah, they did.
Great. Good. Now, let's give them the best football players, too. Great decision, guys.
Let's go to Sister Riggs. She is royalty. Hashtag guys, Crain and Company. Who will the Pack pick at 13 that they could have not gotten at 15?
If we're talking about offensive line, I think it's got to be what I think they have to have a dynamic inside playmaking receiver. You have to have somebody that is a threat on the inside, not just running the vertical 9 route, however you want to put it, like Christian Watson. You have to have a threat on the inside, but it's either their offensive line. I love looking at it through the lens of, hey, this is how they think it's going to go. But just because you move up, you're not thinking, hey, this guy may be here, or it's guaranteed this guy's going to be here. It's can we take the best available at 13? Is what's going to be available, the best available at 13 going to be that much better than at 15? Obviously, for you to do that, you think something's up. Now, zeroing in on a guy, everybody does that. Who that is, I think it's between a wide receiver and offensive lineman. And if you look at 13, I think the Texans are going to take Jackson Smith and Jigba at 12. So I don't know if they look at that and say, well, I don't think Quentin Johnston's worth the 13th overall pick. We need to go get an offensive lineman. That's probably what's going to happen.
I know who they need to take. If he's still on the board, if Jackson gets taken at 12, if Zay Flowers is still on the board.
13,
Boston College?
Yeah, well, he's slated at 12 right now.
Wait, so do you have Jackson Smith and Jigba going to the Titans?
At 11, yeah.
You have him going to the Titans. You have him going 12 to the Texans.
Yeah.
So I think Zay Flowers would be a great piece that I don't know if you can get him. If you're going to go tight end, I get it, Packers. Dalton Kincaid, phenomenal player. I think he'd be a great fit. But a guy Jay was talking about who can play outside, who can play slot. He can kind of almost be that Rondell Moore for you. Zay Flowers.
No, I watched Zay at Boston College.
He's disgusting.
Play. He's nice with it.
Also, the Commanders will not exercise Chase Young's 5th-year option.
I
so it's going to be interesting to see what the Commanders do. And then you got, again, like we talked about yesterday, DeAndre Hopkins. Where's he going to go? It sounds like Chiefs and Bills right now are possible landing spots for DeAndre Hopkins.
You put D-Hop on the Chiefs, so Patrick Mahomes.
Do we even play a season?
We'll be able to figure out how to talk to the aliens.
Yeah, do you even need to play the season?
No, let's just go ahead and just have the Eagles play the Chiefs again there at the end of the year. But we are going to play the season. And speaking of season, it's grilling season. And if you didn't know, you do now. And I also want to say that Blaine will be going to the Indy Grand Prix this weekend with Good Ranchers. Great cars, great meat. How can it get better? Well, guess what? Surprise, surprise. Now it can. I told you guys how much we love Good Ranchers. They just sent some more chicken to our house the other day. It is an absolute Christmas miracle in my deep freezer and freezer right now at the house. It's just the best. I've had the strip. I've had the bone-in ribeye, the chicken, everything. I'm telling you guys, and this deal is absolutely fantastic. I just want to say these 2 words, and I wanted to let this sink in. Free bacon, okay? Free bacon. Not Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon didn't get arrested. I'm talking about free bacon that you can eat, all right, for a year. For a year, free bacon. So head to goodranchers.com and use our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, for $20 off your box. Free bacon, all right, a $240 value for free for the whole year, all right, and you get $20 off today if you use that code, all right, and a chance to win a trip to the Indy 500. I don't know how we can offer you anything else. What else do you guys want? All right, that's promo code BOOSTER at goodranchers.com. Goodranchers.com, American meat delivered. So use our code BOOSTER there at goodranchers.com. David, free bacon for a year. You're going to the Grand Prix this weekend with Good Ranchers, man. I cannot eat another meat company, delivery company, however you get down.
It's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
At the bone-in ribeyes and the New York strips this week.
The New York strip, and New York strip's my favorite steak.
It is your favorite.
All right, full disclosure. But I got flat iron steaks, got ground beef, Wagyu burgers. It's like Guy Fieri's kitchen.
Are you waving the checkered flag this weekend?
No, I'm actually driving.
Wow, you're driving.
I'm in the race.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been practicing my challenge.
Dude, speaking of that, somebody flicked me off this morning on the way to work.
It's probably your fault.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, it wasn't.
What'd you do? Who'd you cut off?
Nothing. I just turned in the turn lane, and somebody was just speeding this morning like 5:15. Like, I don't know, somebody better either be pregnant or dead for as fast as this person was going. All right, so like I turn in my lane, this person just zooms over the hill and like swerves and goes past me and then hits me with like the mini-me middle finger, out the window.
So what you're
in this
telling me is
little
that-
car. Like my 4Runner could have took a bite out of one of those the other day.
Were you on your phone?
No, I was not on my phone.
Jake,
no.
were you on your
I was
phone?
not on my phone. This was one of those people that was in a hurry without their hazards on.
Okay.
There's only 2 reasons, and I listed them. I just want to let everybody know that. If you're out there listening, guess what? That was me, all right? I'll T-Swift this whole thing. All right, and by the way, speaking about having a good time, we went on Yes or No with Michael Knowles, all right? So we're doing that, and we're live streaming tonight at 6:45 p.m. Central with the draft. Let's play this quick, delicious clip of us hanging out with our buddy Michael Knowles.
Being naked in the shower with a bunch of dudes is totally not gay, as long as it's after a long day horsing around in the hot sun on a sports team.
Well, I thought you were going to say if the lights are off, then the answer's always yes. I would say either yes, it's gay, or no, it's not gay.
Okay,
That'd
ready?
be easy. All right, here we go.
1, 2, 3.
If you want questions,
Yes.
if you want answers to questions you've had your whole life, you watch that on Saturday with us and Michael Knowles. It's groundbreaking.
And PJ got in there?
Yeah.
He's famous now.
Yeah.
PJ's
Too
famous.
cool for us now.
Together we made it. All right. Let's get to a little rapid fire.
Let's do it.
Pew.
Hold on. Do you want a sound effect for that?
Yes, hit
'Cause I
that
have
sound
one.
effect.
Jimmy Buckets Butler.
What's going on?
42 sent the Bucks home in epic fashion. This is an epic collapse to me, guys, from the Bucks.
Got to fire the coach.
You think so?
Yeah.
Cotton, I'm shocked.
Jimmy
He's got
just put him
4-1
on
by
his
the. He's
back.
got 4-1 by the Heat without a Tyler Hero.
Jimmy said, "Follow me, boys.
Yeah.
Follow me to round 2."
Here's the way I look at this, and Budenholzer, he's won it. I put this on everybody. Obviously, it's not just one person's fault, but I feel like you guys just got out hustled, you got out efforted, you got out hearted, and it's one thing to just 2 teams are even, just happens like that sometimes. You just get beat, it's part of the game. The Bucks had a humongous roster advantage in this and height advantage. You had the science and the ability. You had both of them in your grasp, and you got 4-1. But you guys scored 16 points. Y'all got beat 32-16 in the fourth.
In the fourth.
At home.
You got doubled up in a game where if you lose, you go home. I question the want to of the Bucks.
And
That's
Giannis
what I
had 38 and 20. 38 and 20, Giannis had.
I question the want to. The Heat wanted that one more.
You shot 45 free throws to the Heat 17. You shot 62%. Out-rebounded the Heat. Shot a better field goal percentage. You got beat with points in the paint with Brook Lopez and Giannis on your team.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
And they got what, Kevin Love?
How
and
does
Bam?
that happen? By
Who's a
Bam.
4?
Yeah, who's a true 4,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Explain it to me. Get on the board. And that goes back to what Jake said. You got what? They wanted it more. For the fact that the Heat scored more points in the paint than the Bucks, who are nothing but trees, walk around, they wanted it more.
Like, it's the only way. Because look, this is what do we always say about a series, right? It's people say, they make this comparison with the NBA playoffs and the NCAA tournament. The NCAA tournament is just one game. You can lose one game and you're out. The best team doesn't always win. It's the worst way to crown a champion. Well, what the hell just happened to the Bucks then? Because it's not like this is one-off. It's not like it was one game where Jimmy Butler dropped a 56-piece and you got sent home because it's single elimination. I could understand that. I could understand it's one game. All right? Anything can happen. That's the beauty of it being one game. This is a 7-game series. Y'all's ass couldn't even make it to 7. Y'all got 4-1. You almost got swept. You almost got swept with a much better team. Much better team. I put this, and look, they're professionals. You got to put it on the players too. But you look at the fourth quarter of these games for the Bucks, that's where they lost it. That's my problem. To me, that is motivation. That is not having that killer instinct. And you know how to have that killer instinct. You've won the thing before. I feel like they got complacent. And you know what? The Heat at the end of the day, what did I say yesterday? There's a bag of money on the ground for everybody. The only difference is somebody's going to bend down and pick it up, and somebody's not going to do it. So congrats to the Heat and the Knicks.
And think about this. This Heat team, not only did they have to play in the playing games, they lost to the Hawks.
Yeah,
they had to beat the Bulls in the second playing game just to get the 8 seed.
Horrible in that first playing game. Remember, they got out-physicaled by the Hawks. Just beat up.
Knicks, Cavs. That series is over now, too. Knicks beat the Cavs on the road 106-95, boys.
I mean, what do we say about Spider now? Like what's with Donovan Mitchell? Like, you remember at the Jazz, it was, it's the Jazz. That's the pro. Or excuse, yeah. It's Donovan Mitchell, it's Spider. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not Spider.
I mean, I'm not one.
Maybe Spider isn't the guy.
I don't really believe in the Cavs roster.
Well, what do you
I think Donovan Mitchell. I mean, he dropped a 30-piece.
I'm talking for the whole series.
Mobley, had 6 points. Allen, 4 points. Garland played well. I thought Garland could have played better in this series. I mean, LeVert's 17. He's a good piece. Really don't believe in their bench other than Isaac Okoro, War Eagle. But I think the Cavs need to make some change. I don't think Allen brings you. He's a great defender and great rebounder, a great blocker of the shots, one of the best in the NBA. But points-wise, I mean, your power forward and your center combined for 12 shots. Mobley, I don't believe in. They need to move on. I really do. I don't think you go back from a defensive standpoint. Mobley is an absolute liability. But I think this says more about the Knicks than the Cavs. Right? The Knicks are a young group who are talented, who play hard. Barrett plays hard. Hart, veterans, been there for in the playoffs plenty of times, plays hard. Brunson really coming to his own. Robinson. And the Knicks won this series with Julius Randle playing mediocre.
Well, if I'm a Knicks fan, that's what I'm pumped about. Like it's a team effort. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. I'm taking Jalen Brunson over a lot of the top guards in the NBA right now. I'm taking him over Kyrie. I'll be honest with you, I would take Jalen Brunson over Jason Tatum right now. I'm just in the playoffs. I'm telling you right. Okay, say what you want. Laugh. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers.
Wild. That's
wild.
You would take Jalen Brunson over Jason Tatum.
Now look, I will say
Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, yes, I will take Jalen Brunson over Kyrie Irving in a second. Why would you take Kyrie right now?
He's a better scorer and a better facilitator.
He's a better scorer and facilitator than Jalen Brunson is.
He'll ruin the team.
But he'll burn your franchise down.
He came in and literally dropped 40 almost every game with the Mavs.
What happened with the Mavs?
Is that Kyrie's fault?
Oh, what happened with Jalen Brunson and the Mavs? Oh, they were contenders.
Well, who else was on the Mavs?
Yeah, Luka.
They traded 4 pieces off that team.
Oh, okay. Was Luka still
what
there?
do we say about the Mavs? Play defense, right? But who else was on the Mavs?
Yeah. No. What are you talking about? The Mavs played defense when Brunson was there. That's the reason
the guys they had on the roster.
Oh, so it wasn't Jalen Brunson. So
if you're asking Kyrie Irving to come be your defensive star, good luck. Luka doesn't play defense, right? But they had 3 other pieces on that team before they traded away for who? Kyrie, that were great defensive players.
So you're saying that Jalen Brunson, again, you can argue, we're not arguing other players. I'm talking about the player. Who is a better defensive player, Jalen Brunson or Kyrie Irving?
Jalen Brunson.
Okay.
Who's a better offensive player? Kyrie Irving.
I would say Kyrie by a little bit right now. Let's look at the points averages. Let's do it. Let's look at Kyrie points per game in 2023 versus Jalen Brunson. And let's see.
Are you doing it for the Nets or for the?
No, I'm doing it for this year. We're talking about right now. We're not talking about Kyrie from 8 years ago.
That was this year.
I'm talking about Kyrie. All right, so he averaged 27.1 with 5 assists and 5 rebounds. Let's look at Jalen Brunson here. Jalen Brunson points per game. I guarantee you I'm not the only one who would want Jalen Brunson instead of Kyrie. Let's see. Let me just look down here. It's in Jalen Brunson. We'll look that up. I believe they may be tied in actual points per game. But overall player, I don't have to worry.
For the Mavs, he averaged 16.
For who? I'm talking about this year. He
averaged 22.
22 points. Okay, probably more assists, I would guess, because he's running point probably a little bit more than what Kyrie is. And I would guess they're right there in rebounds.
But guess 24.
But
24 and 6.
24 and 6.
6 assists.
6 assists. How many rebounds? Does it have it up
3.5, 49% field goal percentage.
So the numbers are basically identical. The difference is Jalen Brunson isn't going to ruin my franchise. That's the thing. That's why I want Jalen Brunson. And I think Jalen Brunson plays better defense, which he does. I think Jalen Brunson's a better player than Kyrie Irving right now.
Pull up.
If you're trying to win, I mean, if you're trying to cause
Jason
controversy.
Tatum's averaging 30 points a game, 8 rebounds, 4 assists a game, 46.
Now, I will say, Jason plays the 2. So, I mean, he is truly a shooting guard. Jalen can play the 2, but he's a point guard. Brunson's a point guard to me. So
all right, Memphis Grizzlies beat the Lakers, even though Anthony Davis had 31 and 19. So this one will go to Game 6 here.
Yeah, Grizzlies had to have it, obviously, to be able to survive the series. John Morant last night I thought was really good in stretches. But Desmond Bane.
Yeah, 33.
I mean, God almighty. You want to talk about a guy that can shoot? I mean, I've watched Desmond before, and he's built so funny. He's kind of built like Stretch Armstrong. You know, he's got like these huge arms and biceps, but like a short, compact body. I've never seen anybody built in the NBA like that before. It's fascinating to watch. But I think the Grizzlies are playing with house money. We said that before. I mean, without Steven Adams, Jaren Jackson Jr. I thought was good last night, but I still think the Lakers win this.
Yeah, I think the Lakers close out. LeBron's got to play better. All right, you can't drop 15 points if you're trying to close out a series when Anthony Davis drops 31 and 19 rebounds. So, Bron, you got to play better at the end of the day, but I do think they're going to close it out. Look,
in LA.
It's tough to win on the road in the NBA. It really is, especially when you get into the playoffs, man. Like, it's a really tough thing to do, but you expect greats to be able to do the tough things when it comes to basketball. So, LeBron, 50 points is not enough, 10 rebounds. I mean, congrats. You go 1 for 9 from 3. I mean, that's not good enough. You have 5 turnovers. Did not play a good game.
Warriors over the Kings. Was the Kings just a good story and Warriors close it out, or can the Kings go on the road now in Game 6 and get a win?
Well, you know, part of me wants to sit here and make an excuse for De'Aaron Fox, but I mean, because he had a hurt finger, but the man had 24 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, and a block. I mean, damn. Not like you had a bad day at the office.
Did his part.
But when you look at the Warriors, again, and Blaine brought this up, and it's just the truth, you are playing against a dynasty. You really are. That's who they are. They know how to win in these moments. The style that they play is so conducive. I mean, Jordan Poole only goes for 10, but Klay Thompson has 25. Steph Curry's got 31, and Andrew Wiggins got 20. You add that with Draymond Green, adding another 21 was plus 13 with 7 assists, 4 steals, and 4 rebounds. This was the Warriors core that has won these championships, making a championship push in the first round. I know you laugh, haha, it's the first round, whatever. But these are the games you have to win to be able to survive and advance. The Warriors won that game with experience. They got beat in the fourth quarter, but they got that nice second quarter cushion when they got that 4-point lead going into halftime. They were able to make it a 9-point lead going into the fourth and then be able to score with the Kings enough late. You saw in that game, and that's experience, and that's what the Warriors have in droves.
Blaine?
Kings just got to shoot better, especially when you're at home. I mean, if you're going to walk out and say the Warriors shot 27% from 3 and won, I'm not feeling great about a lot of things. First of all, the Kings, you're playing with house money, man. It just sucks you have to run into this team, all right? Because I feel like you could beat a lot of other teams and faced up against them. Like, I would really love to see a Kings-Knicks matchup. That'd be a series I'd love to watch. But the Warriors, once the playoff starts, they turn into a different animal, man. They really do. I've seen it year after year. We've had Ben Shapiro on this show who sat here and called the Warriors in 6 against the Celtics. These guys are, nothing you can do is going to surprise the Warriors. They're prepared for everything just because, I mean, the all-stars they have on their team. I mean, and I think Andrew Wiggins is a huge piece. When Andrew Wiggins, they've been doing this with Jordan Poole playing bad, mostly every game this series. So if Jordan Poole comes on like he did last year in the playoffs, starts balling out, this is the Warriors team that you can see win it all.
Yeah, and they have stars, we know that, but there's one guy I do want to give a shout out to that I don't think anybody's talking about, and that's Kevon Looney. I mean, you say, oh, well, he scores 4 points. He grabbed 22 rebounds last night. 7 offensive rebounds. You want to know how you shoot 27% from 3 and score 123 points? You grab rebounds at that rate. Not only did he have 22 rebounds, he had 7 assists. So think about that. When you have somebody down low that is basically combining for 30 rebounds and assists, who do we typically think about that as? Draymond Green, right?
Especially when Draymond's off the floor. Yep. That's where Looney is huge, too.
So well, you got to think the Kings don't have a true 5.
I know.
Other than Alex Lynn. Yeah. If you rely on Alex Lynn to come off your bench.
But you do have some size. I know Keegan Murray's not exactly the most physical guy, but he's bigger down there. Sabonis is down there. Yeah, but he's a big, long 3 that can go in there and rebound and bang with those guys and be able to put up a nice spot. But, again, it was a team effort, in my opinion, by the Warriors, and that's how they won these games.
Yep. NHL, boys, we had 2 upsets in Game 5 yesterday. The Panthers 4-3 in overtime over the Bruins, and then the Kraken pulled another one out against the Avalanche 3-2.
I'm done betting NHL playoffs. I'm done.
Already? It's a long way to go.
I'm done doing it. I'm done doing it, at least for this month. Like this crazy ass stuff, like I'm not touching it. I'm not. The Bruins can't. Like, what's going on?
Hockey, baby.
Well, it's but gravity's gravity. I can understand the Avs losing because their big guy was out. Like their enforcer was out last night. And the Kraken, that's a quality club. I know the Avs won it last year, but I think they're closer than what I thought the Bruins and Panthers would be, even though the Panthers did have their number during the regular season. But can somebody just close it out?
And Bergeron was back for the Bruins, too.
Yeah.
That's why I really thought this was going to get closed out. We're talking about a Panthers team here. I mean, you know, like we said, when your back's against the wall, Game 5, elimination game, you got to have it. This is a good hockey team.
Fight or flight, baby. Fight or flight. And if you're the Bruins, like, that loss worries me. I'm going to be honest.
It worries me,
You have 65 wins, right? Broke a bunch of records. You can't close the series at home. So that tells me, like, all right, like we don't have that guy to really come in and close a series against a team. They're better than the Panthers, all right? They're better than the Panthers.
I mean, Blaine, are they though? They got beaten the regular season 2 out of 3 times. I'm looking at it right now. We're pretty much even Stevens?
They're still up a game.
Up a game, so it's about even, man. Like, I don't know.
And sometimes, we were talking about this yesterday, I can't remember, me and Conan, somebody, sometimes when it comes to the playoffs, like, your toughest matchup will be the first team you play.
Face adversity early.
Yeah, well, we see that in the NCAA tournament, too. I think the question is, would you rather play the tough one early or would you rather play them late? I think that's a fascinating argument. We talk about that with the NCAA tournament. Would you rather play the 1 seed in the second round or would you rather play them in the Elite 8? Like, it's a real... Some people want to play them early, so maybe they can sleep on them. But I tell you what, if you do sleep and then wake up, which I know you do because it'd be impossible for you to be watching this if you didn't, you probably drink coffee. It's probably part of your routine, probably every morning. That's what I do. I don't even know if the caffeine works on me anymore, but I need it. I have to have it. Could be placebo, but I still need it. And that's why I turn to the greatest coffee company that has ever graced the earth and America as well. That's our friends over at Black Rifle Coffee. Y'all know we love it, okay? But if you don't have time to brew coffee, they now have their ready-to-drink cans, all right? It's perfect for people who need their coffee quickly because each can contains at least 200 milligrams of caffeine and is available in a variety of absolutely lip-smacking flavors. You want to hear these, David?
Tell me.
Vanilla bomb.
Keep going.
Salted caramel.
It's not a bomb.
Mocha. Vanilla caramel. You're welcome, world. I don't know if you could have any better flavors than that. So save money and drink America's coffee and also don't get burned down by Flaming Dragon. Go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use our promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, at checkout for 10% off your one-time purchase, our first coffee club order. That's blackriflecoffee.com with promo code BOOSTER for 10% off. Now, you can also find Black Rifle Coffee, guys, in grocery and convenience stores. That's how you know they made it. That's Black Rifle Coffee, America's coffee. Use that promo code. What flavors you got over there, Blanye?
I have the Headless Horseman's Roast, also known as Ichabod.
Oh, you're losing your mind because
pumpkin
it's so
spice, not a big pumpkin spice guy.
Ichabod Blaine Crain?
I'm going to be, they call me Ichabod in high school. Let's go to, then we have Lava Panther. It's a panther on a surfboard coming off a volcano, a.k.a. the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'd pay to watch that.
I would too.
Mine's a helicopter.
From a safe distance.
Mine's a helicopter with guns on it. So
we got those.
And I think this one's flying over.
Flaming Dragon Brew might be coming soon, y'all.
Flaming Dragon Brew, do we have an update on it?
Yeah, might be coming soon.
Really?
I've got some inside sources. You can call me Adam Shefty. It might be coming soon.
Wow, according to your sources? If we get a Flaming Dragon Brew, I will drink nothing else for the rest of my life.
Flaming Dragon Brew.
These, right?
It's on fire.
Boys ready for the next one?
Yes.
All right. So Leah Thomas continues his push to get the Protect Women and Girls in Sports
that guy
Act
talking about
vetoed by the president and possibly the Senate before that. So he came out and he said a couple things on this podcast. We have a video here, but a few of them are, I felt like in the past, I didn't want to bring any more negativity. That's why I decided not to speak about my victory in the past, but I think trans women should be celebrated. We're almost not allowed to celebrate our accomplishments.
Look, here, it's very simple. I think this group of people just want us to let them do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want. I think they think they're better than everybody. I think they've warped their minds into that way. Like, oh, this is now like, we're better than you because we're men that dress up as women. Let's play this clip.
Victim celebration.
They're like, oh, we respect Leah as a woman, as a trans woman, whatever. We respect her identity. We just don't think it's fair. You can't really have that sort of half support where you're like, oh, I respect her as a woman here, but not here. They're using the guise of feminism to sort of push transphobic beliefs. And I think a lot of people in that camp sort of carry an implicit bias against trans people, but don't want to, I guess, fully manifest or speak that out. And so they try to just play it off as this sort of half support.
They think about how twisted feminism, quote unquote, feminism has become. Their arguments, in order to exclude anybody in the trans category, you have to reduce women to reproductive capacity, which is, in my opinion, extremely anti-feminist. I don't want to put those women down either. And I know you don't want to either, because I see pain. I see pain, and the pain is coming from somewhere.
Look at his shirt.
It's not you, though. It's the patriarchy. And how can we get people to see that?
Here's what. You can't, because it's impossible, because it's just not true. Look, this has just gotten to the point. I just find it hilarious they keep using the term guys. Like if y'all were
the
smart,
guys,
y'all would figure out another way to say mirage or something.
All the great buzzwords in there. Implicit bias.
Can you imagine?
Patriarchy.
Hey, how about this? A dude pretending to be a girl that wants to play sports against a girl is talking about feminism. Does anybody else just not find that hilarious? Blaine, this could maybe the greatest trick ever pulled.
Blaine, what are we dealing with?
This could be the biggest troll job ever pulled ever.
One, I don't respect your identity.
I don't either.
You're a guy.
Yeah.
All right? You're a guy. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings or whatever.
I could care less.
Yeah, you're the thing, like, there's no hate. There's nothing, no hate.
That's the point.
Coming from here.
That's the point.
Like, you can be whatever you want to be, all right? But that doesn't mean society has to just let you run around and do what you want to do when it comes to infringing on other people's rights. When it comes to feminism, like, we're just trying to celebrate women being women. Women fighting their entire life to get the Title IX, not some guy who wakes up one day and who realizes he's a mediocre swimmer in the men's league and says, you know what, today I'm going to go be a woman. And first of all, you didn't win. You tied. You tied with Riley.
One of them. There was one of them. There was a bunch of me.
Whatever. One by like 50
There were different races.
Like, I'm not one of those guys who's half in, half out. You're a guy.
Yeah.
All right? That's what you are.
There's no
I'm not
half
saying
and
that
half.
to hurt you. I'm just saying that's what you are. All right, so you can live in Rainbow Land or whatever fake believe land you want to believe in, but this is America, buddy.
The point you made about the hate is so true. That's what I hear time and time again. Like, you guys are hateful, or you're marginalizing our existence, or you're bullying trans people. It's like, no, look, the 250-pound boxer, we're not going to let him box against the 150-pound guy. I don't hate him.
And those are
You're just not going to do it.
No.
And those are two professional fighters.
Yeah.
10 pounds in boxing makes all the difference.
All the difference.
We don't let a 160-pound guy fight a 150-pound guy, but we'll let that guy go swim against the girls in collegiate
look,
swim.
dude, Will, you're not brave, dog. Like, you're not. Like, this is what happens when you don't tell people no. This is what I think happens.
That's a good point.
When you don't tell your kids no, this is why they can grow up and be this stupid.
Because I'm living that
let's
life
say
right
what
now.
it is. It's stupid to think that like, oh, it's hateful because you shouldn't play against girls. No. If you live in the real world, which you obviously don't, you can go on these podcasts with each other and y'all can dress up like thing 1 and thing 2 from the Cat in the Hat if y'all want to. But that doesn't mean that I've got to sit here and accept it like, yeah, go ahead, play against my daughter. Because I tell you what I'd do if I watched my fiance walk into a woman's bathroom and then Will Thomas walked in that bathroom. I'd tell you what I'd do. And it has nothing to do with hate. It's out of love because I love my fiance. How about that? And she's
so
a woman,
right.
and
you're
you're a
right
dude.
on
God, your
the
father.
no point.
I just don't know how.
You're so right on the no point. I'm living that life right now, man. I my son, great kid, but when he hears the word no, he starts crying.
Yeah,
that's what.
Well, see, that's all that is.
And I'm like, and someone came over the other day and was like, I'll use different language to tell him no, like, oh, baby, we shouldn't do that right now, or let's not.
Well,
no, just say no.
It's tough love, right?
No.
Tough love's a sign of respect, not hate.
No, you can't put your hand in the fire pit.
Yeah. No, actually, you know what? Go ahead. Put your hand in the fire pit. Let's learn. Little tough love, the old-fashioned way.
All right, next one here. We were talking about Colorado football this week. They had their spring game, sold out their spring game this past weekend with Deion Sanders there. 22, I think, is the count, and maybe even more players now that have entered the transfer portal. That's an entire class of guys. We were talking about this week a little bit. Hey, it won one game last year, right? A lot of these guys want to leave, even though I think 2 of the players are the leading receivers from last year and their leading rusher. But there was a little bit of controversy with some of these guys wanting to get their game film when they transferred out. And initially, I think Deion in Colorado was like, no, you can't have your game film. I mean, that's our film. It's the university's film. It's not yours. I think now they are going to say, hey, whoever's transferring out can get your game film. You guys coach for a long time. What's your philosophy on this?
Well, there's a huge difference between game film and practice film. They can get the game film from the other team that played you.
Well, whatever film they're asking for.
Yeah. So if you're asking for practice film where we're implementing something that I, as a new coach, we're doing something new, I'm not giving you that. That's ours. But if it's something where I wasn't here, maybe it's practice film from before I was here. Take it, man. Because obviously what y'all were doing isn't working. Hell, it'd be great for the enemy to see this. Maybe they'll start doing it and it won't work there either. So I think it depends on the circumstance of what type of film you're getting. I'm going to wait. I'm going to give Deion a year. With as crazy as the transfer portal is now, it's changed the game. I want to see what the final... I'm not going to sit here while he's baking the cake and take shots at him. Oh, that's not enough sugar. Oh, that's not enough flour. Oh, that's not enough icing. I'm going to wait till the cake comes out of the oven and I take a fork and stick it in and take a bite of it. That's when I'm going to make my judgment.
So, Blaine, it says Colorado is going to give transferring players access to practice film.
Yeah, give them their film, dude. This is petty. This is petty.
Well, what if it's practice film where it's you're implementing something new and it is your base stuff?
But you have certain film you can give out, right? They said they weren't going to give them out any film, and I haven't heard of a coach like going out of his way to do this, right? Yeah, I haven't heard this with all the big time coaches, all the guys who transferred out. Have you heard this with an Alabama, a Texas, a Clemson, an Auburn, and LSU? No, you haven't. This is petty. This is childish. Not a good look for Deion, in my opinion. Give the kids their film. If they want to leave, let them leave. You were the same guy who sat there and said, if you're not all in, get your ass out. All right, that's fine. If they want to leave, let them go, but at least let them get some tape to show other coaches.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting point on both sides. I agree with both of you in certain instances here. We just saw Jalen Hurts sign one of the biggest contracts in NFL history, and you saw Nick Saban at Alabama help guide Jalen Hurts when he wasn't going to be the starter at Alabama when Tua Tagovailoa came in to be able to go to Oklahoma and be a Heisman finalist, and that led to Jalen getting this big contract. Talking about Oklahoma, Troy Aikman was like this back in the day. Troy Aikman played at Oklahoma. Coach Barry Switzer helped him transfer to UCLA. He ends up being the first pick taken overall. So, look, if it's proprietary information on the practice film and you don't want to give that out, I understand that. But at the same time, you have to understand, like, the young kids,
Like, do you care about the kids' future?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, like, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of these are African-American men. I mean, do you care about their future? Even if they left your team, you're the coach. You're supposed to be the bigger person. The kids want the film. Let the kids get the film. There's film you can give out to other coaches. Not all film is sacred and showing certain formations or certain plays. And I like Deion. Like, I really do. And I want Deion to be successful as a coach. And I think he's going to be what he's already brought from Colorado. But these little subtle petty things need to stop.
And regardless of the race of the players, right? You're not saying
I'm saying that. But Deion has been an advocate for African American football players, like for the future of what they want to do. And you're limiting their future by doing this.
Yeah, again, I just think it comes down to which film do you want? Because all film's not created equal. What do you need? Do you want one-on-ones? That's great, easy. Nobody's getting anything from that. But if we're sitting over here and you want to see somebody when we're going team and we've introduced a brand new system, well, I can tell you a story about the time you didn't get the launch codes.
All right, next one here. Blaine found this one actually. A little league in New Jersey is going to force parents who complain to umpires. They're going to force the parents to ump 3 games minimum before they're allowed to return.
Horrible idea. Horrible idea. And here's why. Off the cuff, yeah, great. Great. Here's what's going to happen. 3 dads are going to get real smart, okay? But that all have sons on the same team. They're all going to complain to the umpire, whatever official, however you scorekeeper, however you want to put it. And then they're going to be able to ump the game together, either as a unit or they're all going to be behind home plate in 3 consecutive games. There's an opportunity for collusion here if you know what you're doing. Huge opportunity for collusion. If it's me, I'm getting the guys together. Let's go complain. I'll take behind home plate. You play first. You play third. And then we play a game called How Did Little Johnny Go 6
They
for
won't
6?
let them ump their son's game, though.
Oh,
you
hell
have to go to a different level.
No, okay, then where's your court order? Where's the court order? I got to come out here and do this. Where does it say by law that I got to do it?
You don't have to do it, but you can't come back out to the next game, they said.
Oh, we'll see. You ever heard of disguise?
Get those binoculars out.
Yeah, I can wear a disguise.
Look,
did you just see
the Chad Powers costume?
Look at Will Thomas and them. They think they should play sports against girls. They can get away with that? I can't wear a disguise? I can't become Tina?
I love this, to be honest with you. I love it. I want to watch it happen. Like, look, guys, I've umped before. It's not an easy job, right? It's not easy.
Okay, it's also not as hard.
I'm not saying it's a single.
Like
I'm not saying that. But it's not an easy job to do. Doing balls and strikes is not easy.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not. No, it's not. So I love it. Get out there. Get out there, dads, moms. Where you start ripping an umpire, get out there. They're 12. Calm down.
I just love how you say this. You're going to be you will be climbing the fence to try and fight umpires. You have a 12-year-old son.
But then I'd go ump 3 games.
Hypocritical thing
then I'd go
I've ever
ump 3
seen in my life.
But if you're going to do it, then I'd go ump 3 games.
Are you tossing, guys?
For sure.
It's blank.
You don't even have to say anything. Look at me wrong.
Yeah.
I'll toss your kid. What's your name? What's your name? Yeah.
Which one's yours?
Your name's Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy, come here. Get out.
Yeah. Tell your mom and your dad they're out.
Get out.
All right, let's get to the Booster Club before we get Jim Nagy in here.
All right, let's get some donations that I might have missed. Trevor Sage, $5 donation. What up, boys? What up, Trevi? Do you think the C's should bench Smart, C's as in the Celtics, bench Smart in crunch time in favor of Brogdon? Seems obvious we need a true point guard running the show.
Well, I mean, Brogdon won 6th Man of the Year. I love his game, especially when he's shooting the 3 well. I love the way he played at Virginia. And you look at defensively, I mean, Marcus Smart, we know, is Defensive Player of the Year.
Yep.
The thing about Marcus Smart is it's not just that his offensive game goes in these spurts, but he turns the ball over a lot. His decision-making, and at the end of games, what's the last, you don't want your point guard or your quarterback to turn the ball over at all, right? But what's the one point in the game where you cannot have him turn the ball over? It's at the end of the game. How are the Hawks able to come back? The other night on the road, it was turnovers late. They shot the ball well, but you have to have opportunities to shoot because you get turnovers. So I'm going to be honest with you. I think Derek White is better for the Celtics right now than Marcus Smart is, and I think Malcolm Brogdon is too. When you look at it from just a wholesome standpoint, and that's not saying that Marcus won't figure it out or that Marcus Smart's useless, but to me, in crunch time right now at the end of a game, give me Malcolm Brogdon and Jaylen Brown over Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum. I'm not saying take Jason Tatum out, but if I had to pick 2 people, I would rather ride with Brogdon and Jaylen Brown than Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum.
In crunch time or throughout
in crunch time. In crunch time.
Yeah.
In the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I mean, Marcus Smart's out there for his defense, right? And you go back to the finals last year when they were playing the Warriors, you didn't get enough from him defensively to make up for the turnovers that you had, and combined with Jason Tatum sort of taking a backseat role in those finals, right? Yeah. Like if you're going to have a 2, if Jason Tatum can bring the ball up in those critical moments like you would see Michael Jordan do for the Bulls, or even if you have LeBron James I'm going to bring the ball up and I'm going to help
or Jaylen Brown
and run the offense. True. But you'd like to see Jason Tatum do it, I mean, from your two. If you're not going to have that happen and rely on Marcus Smart's defense, then you do have to make other decisions.
Dude, where's his defense gone lately? I mean, Trey dropped a 40-piece last game. If you're not going to come in and be a difference on defense, you're not a difference on offense, obviously. Mm-hmm. So I could get it going with the backup in this situation.
Yeah, we're going to go heavy booster club here in a second. We have our friend Jim Nagy, executive director of the Reese's Senior Bowl, 18-year NFL scout, 6-time Super Bowl participant, and 4-time Super Bowl champ, and a Michigan alum, David. There you go.
Y'all are everywhere.
Look at that helmet back there, Jim.
Everybody went to Michigan.
Everywhere.
Our buddy Jim Nagy. Jim, what is up, my friend? It's been a while.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Good morning, man. And just a couple Michigan guys, like we were telling David. I'm starting to think everybody went to Michigan.
Tell him, Jim, we're everywhere.
Michigan or Bama?
Well, it's such an easy school to get into. We are a house divided down here in Mobile. My wife is actually a Bama grad, so now my son just decided this week he's going to Auburn in the fall.
Oh, so wow! Somebody in the family's smart. How about that?
Good, Jim.
We are really split.
Yeah, that's well. I'm getting married May 20th, and I'm from Auburn, and she's from Tuscaloosa. So I've been dodging bullets like Keanu Reeves since we started it, but I'm still standing. Jim, obviously we got the NFL draft tonight, and that's where I want to start. You're a guy that understands what goes on behind the scenes. You look at how much work goes into making these decisions. You've been in those rooms. You've been there in those key moments. And something that I want to ask that I don't think gets talked about enough. These guys are elite at what they do when it comes down to evaluating. There is no stone left unturned. They know what the cafeteria lady at your middle school thought about the way you acted. But I do believe that there is an element to where when you, in any business, doesn't matter, sports or anything in life, where if you sit a lot of people down in a room long enough, you can talk yourself into making bad decisions. Can you just talk about not overthinking, which I think is something that we fall prey to in a lot of areas?
Yeah, that's a great point. And I'll say this, you hear a lot, this time you hear a lot about the 30 visits, right? That these NFL teams are having right now and bringing guys into the building. And they're dangerous, man. They are dangerous. Like you said, the scouts are all fall. They've got these years and years worth of relationships at these schools. And those take time. You're not like a rookie scout going on the road and having people at the schools give you real information. So, but you've got all this stuff. You've got months and months and months of work. You come down to Mobile here to the Senior Bowl. You talk to these guys. You go to the combine. You meet with them. Got all this stuff, right? And then in the month of April, we get to April and you do the 30 visits. And then I'm not going to name the player's name, but I was with a club once where I was shocked we were bringing this player into the building. And we brought him in and he spent like 3 or 4 hours and we got him with, the assistant coach and the coordinator and some guys on the personnel staff and the head coach. And we all got back together that night and kind of rehashed the player and how the visit went. And just the tone and the tenor of the conversation about this player compared to what it was through all the meeting time, right? Like we thought we knew who this player was based off all the information. And then they come in and they're on their P's and Q's for 3 or 4 hours. And it's like, now we're totally on board with this player. We ended up taking the player. And it was a colossal bust. One of the biggest busts I've ever been a part of. And we talked ourselves into it after, a 3 or 4 hour exposure. If you can't be on your P's and Q's, like in a building for 3 or 4 hours and snowball a team, so it's really dangerous. It really is. I think you always, the best information you get is the information you get in the fall.
Yeah, and I wish it was just as easy as he's great at playing football. If it was just that easy outside of, finding out who the person is, because again, that is an employee that you're having to count on off the field and on the field. There's so much that goes into it outside of this guy's really strong and fast.
Jake, the tape is the easiest part. Once you've evaluated for, 5, 6, 7 years, and you really learn each position and you get it, get a feel for nuance at every different spot. The tape is the easiest part. The hardest part is the human element in figuring out how these guys are, how they're wired and where they came from, how they're wired and how they're going to be with more time, more money, all those, compounding factors. So that's really, to me, that's what the spring is all about, is figuring out the human part of it, because the tape, you should know the tape. The football player himself, that's the easier part.
Without a doubt. I want to ask you too, Jim, while we have you here, there's been a lot of talk with C.J. Stroud about this S2 test. You know, we know about the Wonderlic and those tests like that. And look, I get it. You know, there's a lot of things that go into this valuation. We just talked about it. But he passed my G test, which is where you ball against Georgia's defense. And I know it's one game, and CJ's had great games against great teams his whole career. And I understand that there's some merit to it, right? I'm just not putting in as much merit on that test as I am from what I saw CJ on the field being able to make decisions. So when you look at a quarterback that may have really good tape and may not have scored great on the test, there's examples on both sides of the ball. How worried should, let's say, fans of a team that maybe take C.J. Stroud about that test?
You know, it's funny you asked that, because I was talking to a guy with a team just yesterday. And again, I've been out of the league 5 years now, so it's been a while. We give the S2 test here at the Senior Bowl. They do not give us the scores or anything like that. We let those people come in here and administer the S2 the morning of registration day, player registration day on Sunday. But I'm not really familiar with the test. And I was talking to someone yesterday that has all the historical data, right? Since they've been given the test. And he's like, Jim, it is really accurate when it comes to that quarterback position. So, you know, and CJ Stroud took it twice. He didn't score good the first time. And at least this is the information I got. They sent it to him and said, okay, CJ, don't know what happened the first time. Let's take it again. And again, he scored low. So you're right. I mean, with the Wonderlic, I think the narrative out there is that the Wonderlic's not a fair test. You know, there's some bias behind it. It's just a data point. It's another historical data point for teams to do more work. I've been a part of teams. I've been a part of scouting evaluations where, you know, a single digit test score guy really learns football well, right? Like, it makes sense to him. You can cross train him at different positions. And then I've had guys that score in the 30s, offensive linemen that score in the 30s that should be able to play every spot on the line, and they can't move from guard to tackle. So it just gives you, like, all the Wonderlic, all we ever used it for was to go back and get with people on the coaching staff and you really drill down in the learning part of it. But with the S2, I mean, if there is that correlation that my friend was talking about yesterday to the quarterback position, man, you got to take it for what it is. And it definitely would give you pause if you were a team.
Yeah, well, like you said, it's a tool, one of the many tools.
That's what I said. It's a tool. It doesn't tell the whole story. Like you're talking about on the Wonderlic, we were talking about yesterday, Dan Marino, Donovan McNabb, and Terry Bradshaw all scored 15 on the Wonderlic. You know, and those guys have 4 Super Bowls, 2 gold jackets, and 125,000 pass yards. And on the S2, I read that Bryce scored in the 98th percentile. We know that. But I've heard that Bryce Young has taken the S2 test every single year since he was a sophomore in high school. You know, so I don't know if this is one of those things where if you get better at it as time goes on,
man.
But you know,
since 10th
grade, this kid's been preparing for the test. So, you know, past those first 2 quarterbacks there, we got, you know, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, you got Hendon Hooker. You know, just from your NFL experience, how do you grade those 3 guys, and which one would you take first?
They're tough evals, man. They really are. All 3 of them have things to really like, and there's things that, you know, make you hold your breath a little bit. If I were taking one of the 3, I'd take Anthony Richardson because I just think he's got the highest ceiling of any player, even higher than Bryce Young's. And if I were my buddy Scott Fitter in Carolina, I would have taken Bryce Young as well. But in terms of the ceiling of the player, it's Anthony Richardson. I was in Gainesville last spring. Billy Napier was nice enough to let me come down and speak to his team about the draft process. And I stayed around for a couple of days and watched practice. That was my first exposure to Anthony. And man, what he's got physically in his body is really hard to find. And then I saw him in the Manning camp last summer and then saw him play at Kentucky, at home against Kentucky this year. And if he hits, right, it's an if. I mean, you've got yourself a multi-year Pro Bowl level player, a guy that you can, you know, go to the playoffs and beyond with. And I don't think he's as far away as people think. You know, is there a project element? Absolutely. He only played 13 games. But is there things he needs to clean up? Absolutely. But, man, when I put on the tape, I knew what the narrative was on Anthony Richardson. And that's the hard part now in the job I have. Like in the NFL, I never paid attention to social media or the internet. It was my evaluation when I dove into a player. Now, because of the nature of the Senior Bowl job, and I am on social media, I see what's out there. I come into some of the junior evals a little tainted. But I didn't think Anthony was that far off. Will's got a lot of stuff to like, big strapped up guy, strong, all that stuff, has a lot of physical tools. And then Hendon, Hendon had good tape this year, man. I mean, yeah, the offense is tough at Tennessee. That makes that evaluation difficult. But if you look at different situations like the 2-minute drill at the end of the first half against Florida where he let him down on a big drive, there's enough there, man. There is enough throws, like dirty pocket throws, tight window throws, all the stuff the NFL really breaks it down to and filters down their cut-ups to watch NFL plays, those under duress plays, those, like I said, those thread and needle throws. There's enough to make you feel really good about Hendon Hooker. So it'll be interesting, man, with the injury and age and everything with Hendon. I'm still hearing he could go in the first round, which, he was a Senior Bowl guy this year, and we've got a 7-year run with first round quarterbacks. And if Hendon doesn't go, we're breaking our streak. So we got our pom-poms out for Hendon tonight.
Take the first round on that. He's on DraftKings right now.
It's a fascinating point, Jim. I just want to piggyback off that. How much has the RPO influence now in the NFL kind of not shortened the learning gap, but it seems a lot easier to me if you're telling me, hey, I'm looking here regardless and making an adjustment off this guy, whether it's the end, whether it's the nickel, whether it's some sort of down safety. Do you see that maybe making it not easier to play quarterback, but maybe for a guy like Anthony Richardson in an offense that may lean a little bit RPO, does that make it easier in your eyes?
I don't know if it makes it easier to play quarterback. It certainly makes it easier to transition, which is
that's my question.
Part of playing quarterback. Yeah. Jake, I think one thing I will say for the NFL, like in the last 5 to 7 years, probably, we've seen scouting get a lot younger. For one, we've seen coaching get a lot younger as well. And I think the young coaches are doing a better job than in the past of really pulling principles up from the college game and playing to the strengths of the young quarterbacks early. Because they're being forced on the field. You don't have the luxury. Back in the day, you used to draft a quarterback and sit him for a couple of years, and it was no big deal. That's just what you did, and you groomed him. Well, they can't do that anymore, right? I mean, and so you drafted back in the day. You brought up Terry Bradshaw's name, like those guys, Dan Marino. Back in the day, like you drafted a player back then before free agency. You basically had him for his entire career, so it didn't matter if you got him on the field right away. They have to pay these players or play these players. So I would say, I would give the credit to the coaches. And, you see so many NFL coaches right now getting with the players' college coaches and really, okay, what did he do best? What was the best stuff that what did he like most in these situations? And really starting to implement some of that stuff early in the career just so they can play, so they can function.
Yeah, that's such a great point.
Well, Jim, I want to talk about a guy who was at the Senior Bowl and who's kind of gone under the radar a little bit, was a huge storyline in college football. That's Max Duggan. I mean, threw over 3,500 yards, 32 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Where do you see Max going off? What day? Is he a day 2 guy? Is he a day 3 guy? And what kind of under the radar quarterback do you like in this draft?
Yeah, like I said, I talked about our streak. We had a really good run of the, Justin Herberts and Josh Allens and really high first-round picks, Daniel Jones in there. But and this year we don't have that. And I think all of our guys are going to fall into that day 3 mix, whether it's Jake Haener at Fresno, Clayton Tune at Houston, Jaron Hall, BYU, Max Duggan. When it comes to Max, I'll say this, like Brock Purdy's success this year, and I think a lot of that had to do with playing in Kyle Shanahan's offense and having a really good team around him, but take nothing away from Brock, man. He had a great year. I think every team in the league is self-scouting themselves right now and say, why did we let this guy become Mr. Irrelevant? How did he get past us 7 times? I mean, say what you want. Yes, the Niners were loaded. Kyle's a great play caller, but still, I mean, Brock had to go out there and function and win games, and he did that. So why? Why did what did we miss on it? And I think the conclusion, talking to most teams, was the playing experience. I mean, the Brock played a ton of college football.
Yes.
And I think you can say that about a bunch of these guys that I just mentioned, including Max Duggan. I mean, he's a guy that was a 3-year starter, lost his job to Chad Morris's son going into the year. Chad Morris's son goes down week 1 and Max is back in there. I mean, he started over 40 games. And my biggest thing I think we've gotten away from is evaluators. When I got into the league, 25 years ago, you always wanted to see quarterbacks that elevated a program that made everyone around them better. We don't talk about that anymore. We really don't. Like, to me, that would be one of the knocks on Will Levis in this year's draft. I mean, he lost to Vandy at home, and then in a big rivalry game against Tennessee, they got their doors blown off, right? Whereas you go back in the day, like Brett Favre took Southern Miss and went into Tallahassee and beat Bobby Bowden's Florida State.
Yeah, beat
when
Bama
those guys
too.
were like,
Yeah.
and he beat Bama. I mean, Bobby Bowden's Florida State team is like the current Nick Saban Alabama team. I mean, those guys. So what you're looking for is a guy that can raise the program, and Max obviously did that. I mean, he gets them to the college football playoff. They beat Michigan. They go to the final, and yeah, Georgia wiped them off the field that day. But I don't think we can lose sight of what Max did for that program and all the football he's played. So I still think he goes day 3. Okay. But, he's a guy that is going to be a backup in the league. And he's one of those guys, if he is your backup, the teammates are going to rally around him. And if he's out for 4 games, he's going to win, he's going to win 2 or 3 of them. And that's all the NFL looks for in a backup anyway.
Yeah. I'm a big Max Duggan fan. I'm going to get to the Booster Club real quick. I'm going to Kyle Kennedy. Jimmy wants to know which rounds were harder to draft, rounds 1 to 2 or 3 to 7?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Ooh, harder to draft. I mean, you're dealing with your higher end players up top. I think where you got to be careful in the early rounds is if you get an upset on your board and something happens above you and a couple players go that maybe you were targeting. I think where you can get in real trouble early on is reaching for need. Again, just going back to some of the teams I worked for, looking back on some of the mistakes we made collectively on players that didn't really pan out, is we saw kind of a shelf at a position where there was a drop off. And if we waited another round, we were going to hit that shelf and there was going to be a much lesser player. So we took the next guy. And it was really a reach. To me, rounds 3 through 7 as a former scout, those are the scouts rounds. Really, day 3, rounds 4 through 7, man. As a scout, that's where you make your name. That's where you really pound the table. Some GMs don't have time to get all the way, into the weeds with like the 5th, 6th, 7th round guys. They're watching usually the top 100 players. So that's where you make your name. But I always enjoyed day 3 as a scout. That was our day. We loved it. But I would say maybe the early rounds are a little trickier just because you got to get those right. I mean, your fan base and your ownership group, they're going to hold your feet to the fire if you miss in those first couple rounds.
Love it.
Jim, great stuff, man. I know you're super busy, especially on today. Or maybe you can actually relax for a little bit. I mean, you guys, Jim already has the next 3 years of guys lined up for the Senior Bowl. That's how hard they work. That's why the Senior Bowl has been fantastic since you guys joined, man. We went down there, were able to see it in Mobile. I loved seeing it at South Alabama's field. It was actually the first time I got to see the new stadium down there as well. But just first class, as always. We're excited about getting down soon, coming down there to Fairhope and seeing you guys. But Jim, man, it's always great having you. I know, like I said, it's a crazy day for you, but we really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. We'll see you in June.
Definitely. Sure. Tell Molly
Go Blue.
Up too. Appreciate it. Jim Nagy, one of the best that there is, a guy that understands the game and what goes along with it. I want to get to the Booster Club because I haven't got to lean on him a lot today. All
right, let's go to Cole Frank, $2 donation. Appreciate it, Cole. I mean, Cole be throwing bread in here. Says, how much for the yes or no table?
How much? I don't know.
Is that for sale? Jay?
Stephen Moore threw a $500.
I believe that's for sale.
Everything has a price.
Look, if it's in the yard, it's for sale.
All right, let's go back to Cole Frank with another $5 donation.
Wow. More people need to be like Cole.
How about the Stanley Cup playoffs? What is happening? Is every series going to go 7?
I don't know, but I'm done betting on it this month. Goodness gracious. I haven't been beat up this much by ice since that time I was in that avalanche.
You were in an avalanche?
Don't want to talk about
it.
Dude, made it
All the stories I've heard from you, I've never heard the avalanche story.
You don't want to hear it.
Let's go to Mason Roush with a $10 donation. Appreciate it, Mason. He says, morning, y'all. Finally caught a show live. I work nights, so I never catch a show live. Glad to see you here, Mason. What do you think the Colts do? Personally, if they get Levis, I'm okay with whatever they do, including if they get Will Levis.
I think you shouldn't be okay with it. That's what we call the White Goodman technique, the I'm not okay, you're not okay, but that's okay.
Yeah.
If you take Will Levis, it's a disaster. It's a disaster.
Here's what you want. You want CJ to fall to you.
Yes, or you do what I said yesterday. You listen to the Texans. Okay, hey, let's swap picks. Let the Colts give the Texans a 3rd round pick. Am I turning into a Texans fan? If this happens, I'll be a Texans fan. I'm serious.
And if they get Jackson Smith at
if this goes how I like the theory, the way that Kevin Costner the draft for the Texans, if this goes how I think, I'll be a Texans fan. I'll ride the Lightning. I don't care.
I'm a Jaguars fan, so.
That's true. But no, you guys, you take Will Levis, you might as well just burn the whole thing down. None of it else matters. Nothing else matters, you guys do. So that's just the truth, Mason.
Okay, let's go to Yogurt.
Yogurt.
Nice.
At Crain Company.
Nice.
Says, what are the odds y'all see Will Anderson go number 1?
No, that would have to be a trade. The Panthers are taking Bryce Young.
But he is the odds-on favorite to go number 2 right now.
Well, you look, D'Amico Ryan's the head coach of the Texans. He's on defense. And here's what I'll say. When it comes to defensive players in this draft, I think Will Anderson Jr. is the best player. Why? Because just like if I ran a donut store and I'm trying to hire a manager, I'm going to hire the guy that can do what? Who's the best at the most stuff. Will Anderson Jr. is the best at the most stuff on defense. Rush of the passer, hand in the ground, not in the ground. He can take on the run, whether it's spilling it or boxing the pull, whether it's taking on the base block. He could drop in coverage. Hell, you could probably put him at nickel and he'd be fine. So give me Will Anderson Jr. He's the best at doing the most stuff.
All right, let's go to Clint Winger, 800-480-481. Says a little Daily Wire chat action here, fellas.
Okay.
Relatively new to the show. All right, how do I donate? I watch on Daily Wire Plus. I don't think you can donate on Daily Wire Plus.
But
thank you for watching.
You're subscribing to Daily Wire
already
Plus.
donating.
Therefore, technically, you're donating. But here's what you do if you really want to help. You go get one person, and then you tell them about it. And then they tell somebody about it. And then they tell somebody about it. And then all of a sudden, hands across America.
We also accept the giant checks, like Jackie Moon style.
Stephen Moore gave us $500.
You gotta take it to the big
therefore
bank.
He's always right.
You got to take it to the big bank, you know?
Giant check.
PJ, do y'all have Thursday trivia back there at all?
Oh, yeah.
I do.
Oh, let's hit it.
Boys want some trivia?
Let's hit some trivia real quick.
Thursday trivia.
Chat.
No.
Chat.
Don't blame.
The Booster Club's part of the trivia.
No, it's
Stop cheating,
man.
Wow, so me leaning on the Booster Club
got a lot of
in
Russian
trivia is cheating.
It's
Did y'all hear
a lot
that?
of Russian.
Did y'all hear that? Yeah, Booster
hear
Club. I hope
everything.
y'all heard. I hope y'all
Blaine Malkovich.
Man
Alright.
of the people.
What do we have, PJ?
You guys will have 2 minutes to answer this question.
Okay.
A total of 7 Heisman Trophy winners, quarterbacks, have been selected as the number 1 pick since 2000. And then, so you guys have to pick, name all 7 of those quarterbacks who have won the Heisman and gone first in the draft.
Okay.
And ready, go.
Baker
Joe
Mayfield.
Burrow. Baker Mayfield.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton. Kyler Murray. Sam Bradford. Yes, Sam
2000?
Bradford.
Carson Palmer?
Carson Palmer.
Since 2000.
Carson Palmer.
Jamarcus Russell.
No, he didn't win the Heisman.
No, I'm tripping. Heisman. Quarterback.
Let's see, you said since 2000.
Yep.
Vinny Testaverde did it. I think Jim.
How many do we have right now?
4.
Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Cam Newton, Sam Bradford, Carson Palmer.
That's 6.
6.
There's one quarterback. Won the Heisman. Should be easy.
Not
Not
Matt Leinart.
Not Matt Leinart. No. How much time we got?
Where did
got a minute, plenty of time.
Marcus Mariota go?
He
Put at
didn't go
Oregon.
Number 1.
Did he not go number 1?
At Oregon. You said Baker.
2001.
Gosh, who were we forgetting, David?
Time. Give me time.
We got a minute.
56 seconds.
1 in the draft. Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston. That's a great. Hey guys,
Nice.
great job,
Nice.
coach. Great
Florida
job, coach.
State
That was
there.
impressive. That was really quick. I should've given
Well,
you a minute.
that's also our bag. That's
There we go.
deep in our bag. I'm gonna head to the board, but Blaine, keep reading from the Booster Club, please, sir.
All right, let's go to Sleeping Shane. All right, hashtag trust tree. All right. Oh, God. Blaine, I'm sorry.
Oh no,
That's not good.
Dad.
I've never done any sports betting before, but I thought I would give DraftKings a try with the Booster promo code. Well, we really appreciate that. Since I really like Blaine's takes, God, I love the badge too, Sleeping Shane. I decided just to take every show bet that he did.
How'd that go?
This started 2 weeks ago. I feel like his downward slide has been my fault. Blaine, I apologize. However, I will sell my service to the highest bidder to keep someone from winning next month. No. Sleeping Shane,
You ride with
Change
Blaine.
that badge.
This
You
is
ride with Blaine.
this is my fault.
Change that badge.
This is
Shane.
not your fault. Look, if one of us go down, we go down together. All right? And I promise, since I know this now, Sleeping Shane, I got 10 extra bets this weekend. But,
Blaine wouldn't go down.
all right?
He's
Just
lost.
He wouldn't go down
Just
for
know,
you.
I'm the guy they count out. Next thing you know, you look up, I'm in that number 1 spot.
No, he's in your
Trust.
closet.
Hey,
and you call
you're
the
under
police.
what? The wing.
Yeah.
In the trust
Here's
tree.
what, Shane. It's it's up and down, man. When you bet every day, it's so up and down. Like that's why it seems like nobody can win the month back to back. Because when you have 5 or 6,
Great
people
job,
betting at
chat.
once.
Great job, chat. Really good from y'all.
What'd they do?
Gave the Jameis Winston shout out.
Blaine can't do trivia anymore.
They're part of us.
You didn't look at it.
They're part of us. Like, I understand how the Booster Club came.
We were going to get that with 40 seconds
Blaine's
left.
like when Biden's like, oh, no, they're not. They're all our children.
It seems like the Booster Club helped him out a little bit.
They did help me out.
But not us, though.
So now that's cheating.
Not
relying on the Booster Club. Then I'm a cheater then. Relying on the Booster Club, who's part of this show.
Whatever.
And fine, I'll be a cheater. Label what you want. Man of the people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, remember, we have the live stream tonight, 6:45 p.m. Central. What else we got in the Booster Club?
Let's go to Deacon and Nora. Hashtag Ask Crain and Company. Should the Bengals draft Jamar? Jamar Gibbs.
Jameer
if
Gibbs?
he's available, or do they take O-line, corner, D-line, etc.? I believe the Bengals have the 28th pick.
Here's what I'm doing. Is Bijan on the board?
O-line.
Probably not.
No.
I know you say don't take a running back in the first round. Bijan's not going to be there. It's O-line, right? It's got to be.
For the Bengals.
Right?
Has to be.
Y'all don't need another receiver. I know Joe Mixon, the running back situation, we'll figure it out. You can get a running back later. You can get one through free agency.
Yep.
You need offensive linemen. Help out that witch you got back there.
Yeah.
That pirate boy.
I love all you, chat. I really appreciate the good words you're putting in there right now.
Wow.
What are they saying?
Man of the people.
No, he's not.
They hate both of y'all.
All right, I'm going to get...
What? They hate us?
Yeah.
I've done nothing.
Oh, what? Yeah, you have.
No, I haven't.
I
them
love
cheaters.
y'all.
He called them
We
cheaters.
called you
They don't
a
hate me.
cheater.
I don't believe
We
you. They
called
don't-
Look it up. You're in the chat, Dave. Look it up.
What'd they say?
Yeah, by the way, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and sign up with our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, because new customers can bet $5 and get $100 in bonus bets instantly, win or lose. That's right, win or lose. So really, it's just a win-win. All right, minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Fade me tonight. Tennessee, moneyline. Arkansas, moneyline in college baseball. Sorry to both those fan bases for the upcoming loss. And also, the Hawks at home tonight against the Celtics. Plus 165 to win, because right when I saw it, I thought the Celtics were going to win. So what did I do?
Ooh. Wow, you just dangle, back post, boom.
Boom. Hawks. That's what I'm taking. What do you got, David?
What do I have tonight? All right, I'm going to go. I agree with what Blaine said earlier. I'm not buying this C.J. Stroud is falling in the draft hype. So I'm going to go the first two picks, back-to-back, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. That's now at plus 260. And then I have Will Anderson getting drafted before Tyree Wilson, minus 120.
Mr. and...
Okay, so we got plus 160 up there. So that's plus 260.
Yeah, mine's plus 260.
Plus 260.
Oh, wow. It's on me.
Got you, Dave. Got you. Got you, my guy.
Those units.
Got you. This is what I'm taking. Been doing pretty well with the NBA. I'm going to be honest. 4-0 in my last 3 days when it comes to NBA bets. Give me the Hawks plus 6.5 at home. I think the Hawks are going to play. I don't think they win this game, but I think they play well. And then
I think they win it.
Give me the Devils.
Wow.
Minus 1.5 against the Rangers. Plus 210 in your face.
Now they're at home. They're in New Jersey.
I know. They play better on the road.
They do.
But I think I'm going to take a chance. I'm take a leap of faith.
Ace Cone. He's going Nolan Smith, top 10 pick at plus 120. And then Gonzalez going before the 9th pick at minus 140. All right, Booster Club, what's up?
All right, we got 3 minutes here. So we're going to go ahead and get to the poll. All right. Who will get... I should have done a better poll. Who will get picked first in the draft? Bryce Young. Don't laugh, guys. All right. I did second the other day.
I'll go with Will Levis.
I did third the other day. I'm running out of picks. All right. Bryce Young, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, Will Anderson Jr. All right. I want y'all to guess the first and the second.
Okay. I'm going to say they said Bryce Young, 73%, and they said Will Levis, 14%.
Well, I'll go with my picks tonight. I'll go Bryce Young at 80% and C.J. Stroud 20. Oh, no, 15. 15.
All right. Who will get picked first in the draft? Bryce Young, 88%.
Oh, wow.
I didn't put C.J. Stroud in here.
What?
I put Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, Will Anderson Jr. All right.
Oh,
so do you want a different second pick?
Well, sure.
You don't have to yell at me, okay?
Will Anderson Jr., 10%.
Will Levis, 6%.
Okay. Well, I mean, again, that's all we're hearing right now. All right, anything before we wrap?
No, do you want to tell everybody what's going down?
Yes, we are live streaming the draft starting at 6:45 p.m. Central Time. We're doing bets, and if we hit 100,000 subs, it's sub push tonight. All right, I'm not talking about, when you push a submarine off the shore into the water to get it in there, or however the hell y'all do that, scientists. But we're going to be doing live bets, prop bets, all type of stuff, draft fun, guests, and us, and food, and Blaine.
I am shooting David with a paintball.
Yes.
Was that decided?
Are we going to mace me at 100,000? Is that it?
No.
Am I getting pepper sprayed or mace?
No, you're getting locked in a room with snakes and spiders.
What a taste. I
This is
don't know
like
yet.
100.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you right now. Tase me, mace me,
Okay.
cook me up, and taste me. But if you put me in a room full of snakes and spiders, I will find a way to burn this whole place to.
How about 100K pepper spray, baby? That's it. We hit 100K pepper spray.
Pepper spray
right in the face, baby.
Pepper spray.
We could, because I know they have that out there.
The security guards?
They have to.
For sure. That's that's like
We'll work
the most
on this.
safe thing.
We'll work on this, but we need the booster club because see, most of the booster clubs already subscribed. We need y'all to share it out.
Yeah.
And get that 100K subs. So it's on y'all now.
I'm taking pepper to the face. All right. How about that? We appreciate you guys. Like the chances of Will Levis being a legitimate starting NFL quarterback. We're going, gone.